Me and my foam roller. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds before I really get started with today's story because it kind of flummoxed me. I didn't see this coming at all. Did anybody see this coming with the situation with Superman and the estate of the creator of Superman and what they have in store for James Gunn's DCU? I did see this coming. Had no idea that this would even be a thing. Um, Today I have been wrapped up the whole first part of the morning watching Best Picture nominees, and I was on my second one, and oh my goodness, that one did not hit. It didn't hit well at all. So I was going through, I'm like, okay, now that I'm through watching movies, let's go through the news, see what's going on. And it's some crazy stuff going on in entertainment news. But I said, this is a story that maybe I need all hands on deck. So hopefully, um, my friends and channel members who are available will tune in today and we can talk about what's going on with the Superman movie. So when you get in here, please do me the honor of hitting that like button so that I know you're here. This will be my way of taking roll and to help other people find this live stream. Okay, so I don't know how long I should wait for others, but I'm going to put this article up. Doop, doop. Because this is what's going on as far as Superman is concerned. The Superman estate has sued Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Comics to block release in key territories. Now, you guys know that the lion's share of the revenue from a movie is coming from the US. It's coming from, or at least it's coming from North America. So the United States and Canada, we are big uh, consumers of superhero movies and the such. But they are also counting, every studio is counting on how much money they can make when they send the movie to other markets. Big markets are China. That's the biggest outside of the United States. So you want your movie to make it to China, but all the rest of those little properties in between, they all add up to what you can expect from a global box office. And at the end of the day, y'all know that this is a money making game. So if it ain't no money to be made, what are we doing this for? So we're gonna get into this article. The estate of Superman creator Joseph Schuster is suing Warner Brothers Discovery and its DC Comics, claiming it lacks the rights to release the upcoming summer tentpole in a handful of key territories. Plaintiff Mark Warren Peary, he is the executor to the Schuster estate, filed the suit today in federal court in the Southern District of New York, seeking damages and injunctive relief for defendants' ongoing infringement in Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia, as well as declaratory relief establishing the Schuster estate's ownership rights across relevant jurisdictions. So the family the family is trying to block it in Canada of all places, the UK, Ireland, and Australia, all places that would have a vested interest in the Superman character, and is basically saying you're infringing in these territories upon our ownership of this character because some things were overlooked by Warner and DC, it seems. Now, I can't say for sure, but this is the way the Schuster estate is seeing it. They think that Warner does not have the right to these characters anymore. So the matter is ripe for adjudication, it said, as defendants are actively planning a major new Superman motion picture and other derivative works for imminent worldwide release. The latest Superman, starring David Cornsweet in the title role, in fact is set for release on July 11th. And man, the trailers look good. Look, I don't care what the haters are saying. For me, them trailers look good. It actually increased my excitement for this movie probably at least fivefold just seeing the trailers. So to hear that there will be a bunch of markets who may not be able to see this movie is absolutely is mind-boggling to me. It kind of makes me think of the video I did the other day about the Michael Jackson estate and how that movie may be delayed again because of an oversight on behalf of the family. Well, in this situation, the family is like, oh, we ain't made no oversight. Warner's has made the oversight, and we are going to capitalize on that because you know they want to put this movie out. You know they want to put this movie out. Wingrace, hey there, Wingrace. Wingrace says he'll take some of the money if they're looking for homes. Oh gosh. Well, okay, so this movie is coming, it's supposed to be coming out on July 11th. And then we got who's in the cast. Warner and Perry and his longtime legal team have been in court rather often before this, most recently regarding regarding termination rights under the US Copyright Act. But the automatic foreign copyright reversion issue in this case didn't occur until years later, said Mark Toberoff, attorney for the estate, and was never actually litigated. So instead of coming to a complete agreement with the family when Warner sat down with them, I think it might have been 2017. We'll get to it in the article. But when Warner sat down with the family and ironed out a deal for them to continue to use the Superman character, they should have also litigated for being able to distribute it in other markets. They didn't think of that, but the family did, and the family held on to that card until now. So we fundamentally disagree with the merits of the lawsuit and will vigorously defend our rights, said a Warner Brother Discovery spokesman. At issue are foreign copyrights to the original Superman character and story, co-authored by Jerome Siegel and Schuster. Though Siegel and Schuster assigned worldwide Superman rights to DC's predecessor in 1938 for $130, y'all. They sold or assigned worldwide Superman rights for $130. Anyway, the copyright laws of countries with the British legal tradition, including Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia, all of those countries contain provisions automatically terminating these assignments 25 years after the author's death. So now that it has been it's been far more, I think, than 25 years after Schuster's death, but so his family is like, it's time to hit the pockets again. Warner Brothers is going to end up once again having to come to some type of agreement with this family. So anyway, they vested in the Schuster estate, the co-authors, undivided copyright interest in such countries. So in those countries, Canada, the UK, Ireland, and Australia, among others, the family still has undivided copyright interest in the Superman character. So Schuster died in 1992 and Siegel died in 1996. By operation of law, Schuster's foreign copyrights automatically reverted to his estate in 2017. So 2017 was the first time we started hearing rumblings of the family trying to get the rights back to the Superman character, or if you pay me, give me some money. So where was I? The Schuster's foreign copyrights automatically reverted to his estate in 2017 in most of those territories. And in 2021, Canada was added to that as well. The defendants are the Warner Brothers and DC Comics, continue to exploit Superman across these jurisdictions without the Schuster Estate's authorization, including in motion pictures and television series, merchandise, in direct contravention of these countries' copyright laws, which require the consent of all joint copyright owners to do so. So they're going to hit them pockets. Now, this is bound to be most unwelcome as DC and parent Warner Brothers start to gear up for the release of the Superman movie. The trailer was the most viewed and most talked about in the history of both DC and Warner Brothers when it hit in December. And that was said by, of course, James Gunn. Wish we could watch it. It says watch it below. I wish we could watch it below. The lawsuit requests a jury trial. And one thing, let's think about where we are in the United States, particularly as a country, when it comes to corporations and CEOs. We're not really looking at them favorably all the time. So if this was to get in front of a jury of just regular people, I 100% believe that the favor will automatically go to the family. That most people, unless they are themselves CEOs of companies and that sort of thing, those people would sit and they would look at Warner Brothers as this big conglomerate stealing from the family of the creator of Superman. And then they would do their super thing and award that jury, award that plaintiff a huge payout. So that is one thing to look at. I don't believe that Warner would want this to go to trial, even if they talk junk and say, "Yeah, we'll take it. I want the people to hear it." Blah blah blah. I would not be surprised if they talk that talk all the way up until the eve of the trial, and then they decided, you know what, we probably don't want to do this. We'll make some type of deal with the family, and I'm willing to bet. Of course, I don't have any way of substantiating this, but I'm willing to bet that the family is aware of what I just said, that Warner is in a lose-lose situation. This Superman movie could potentially be $1 billion movie or more. So if what would be easier to do? To go ahead on and make this $1 billion to recoup some of the money that you made making the film and to rake in a profit, or to go ahead and pay this family X amount of dollars just to get them out of your hair so you can do that with the $1 billion movie. So anyway, the lawsuit requests a jury trial claiming that the defendants' acts of direct infringement have been willful, intentional, and purposeful, in wholesale disregard of and indifference to the rights of the plaintiff. As a direct and proximate result of defendants' infringement of the work's copyrights and exclusive rights, the plaintiff has been injured in an amount to be determined at trial. You damn sure don't want the jury to have to come up with the dollar amount that you would put on the family of the creator of Superman's pain and suffering that Warner Brothers has put them through. You don't want that to be in the hands of 12 ordinary people. And I think it's less in a civil trial, but if it's 12 ordinary people, they are going to hit the pockets. We are in an era of just imagining how much we feel robbed by CEOs. Think about this. Max, Warner Brothers, Discovery, all of that. They are raking in literally billions of dollars yearly, but they continue to inch up on the prices of their streaming services. Every couple of months, you're hearing about another price hike for a streaming service. Ordinary people, are beginning to feel robbed if they weren't before. This is the era we're in. We're in a crazy alternate timeline, but one thing's for sure that we are all pretty much on the same foot about is how we view CEOs, how we view billionaires, how we view the people who provide entertainment, what, and make sure that they have damn near cornered a monopoly on entertainment. You saw what Warner, Disney, and who was the other entity? Fox? It was three. No, it wasn't Fox, because Fox is a Disney. It was three entities trying to get together. May have been, well, whoever it was. Don't get me the line. But they were trying to get together and corner the market on sports. So they were going to put, because you know they would have put Fubo and all of these other little sports centered streaming platforms. They would have put them out of business. And now here we are, a few months later, after the revolt, they scrapped that idea, but Disney still got over because they teamed up with Fubo and they still are getting all of the sports. Again, it's a few companies, few media companies, and they are getting the cornering the market on all of our entertainment. And you can best believe a jury of 12 normal, regular people are going to see it that way. They are going to look at Warner Brothers Discovery and whoever was there representing them as the people that are picking their pockets, and they will side with the family. So anyway, meanwhile, the estate is asking the court for a cease and desist order enjoining defendants, their officers, agents, employees, and those acting in concert with them preliminarily during the dependency of this action and permanently thereafter from A, infringing or contributing to or participating in the infringement by others, the copyright in the work or acting in concert with, aiding or abetting others to infringe said copyright in any way, which means stop this movie from coming out. Stop this movie from coming out until we have reached some type of adjudication over the rights to this character. And copying, duplicating, selling, licensing, displaying, distributing, preparing derivative works of the work, or otherwise using or exploiting the work, which plaintiff jointly owns without plaintiff's prior written consent or license to do so. In essence, we also own the Superman character along with Warner Brothers Discovery. The families are saying, yeah, we own Superman too. And if you want to put a Superman movie, comic book, cartoon, anything out, if you want to do any of that, you need to come through us. In essence, this movie, if they don't come to some type of agreement long before July, if they don't come to some type of agreement, the family is banking on the right to block the movie from coming out, and that's huge. That's huge. As we talked about earlier, we're talking at the absolute least maybe $1 billion movie that might be shelved. Now, some people would say, "Oh, this is poetic justice for that Batgirl movie," and I would be inclined to agree, except this didn't have that Batgirl movie didn't have anything to do with James Gunn. James Gunn has been handed a flaming plate of turds, and and now he has to live with it. And but all of those other movies that Warner threw in the garbage, basically, because they wanted a tax cut. Well, I hope you felt good about those tax cuts. You'll probably be paying the Schuster estate far more than you ever earned in them tax cuts off of cutting those movies. Let's see what Clarence has to say down here. Clarence said, this is from the Siegel and Schuster family. Yep, the Schuster family is the family that is putting the bricks on this movie, or at least attempting to. And I promise, it feels like, to me, it feels like this is the time that this would work. I don't care how interested we all are in seeing the Superman movie. People have had it up to their eyeballs with the billionaire class. People who basically hold our lives in their balance. And the Schuster family said no, no more. And if you guys are here, please do me a favor, hit the like button, because I have 0 likes, and I would like to, at least one. Somebody gotta like this video. But anywho, yeah, the Schuster family says they are not to be taken advantage of, and I don't blame them. They held their cards all the way up until this movie is pretty much prepared to be released. It's coming out July 11th. We've got a huge trailer that we've already seen. We've also seen additional footage. We've seen posters. There is a ramp up of excitement. As I said earlier in the stream, this is the most watched DC trailer, Warner Brothers trailer, in the history of the studio, right? So you want to capitalize on that goodwill. In fact, one of my friends who, hey, Bougie, one of my friends who is also a kind of cinephile, he's not big on these superhero movies, but he is very, very interested in Superman. He said he saw the trailer during the playoff game for the NFL, and he was like, "Now that trailer looks good." So if people who haven't watched a Superman movie in 25, 30 years, if they are excited, then this is a big deal. And the Schuster family seems like they decided now is the time for us to play our card. They had already come to kind of a truce with Warner Brothers in 2017, and then again in 2021 with the Canada thing, but they had the rest of the world. Those were their home cards right there. The rest of the world, the UK, Australia, Canada, you can knock all of those off of the list if the Schuster family decides that they don't want this movie to come out. And the one thing that will make them feel better, I'm sure, is being paid the money that their father or grandfather or whomever was not paid. When I read that 1938, they gave Schuster and Siegel gave the rights to Warner Brothers for $130. That's a bigger robbery than what we saw with the X-Men and the Fox deal with Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios got fleeced, and we talked about that, but at least they got some money. $130. I don't care if it was 1938. These deals, that deal, of course, it did become void once Schuster died, and we had to wait 25 years after his death before that original deal was voided. But good Lord, look at how many years that $130 covered. That's insane to me. Just insane. But I mean, it's not insane. People are going to people, and people are going to people. And one of the things that these people will do is rob you. If you don't understand what it is that you have, if you don't have that kind of confidence in your product, they will fleece you. Bougie Barbie said, "Why can't I come across a deal like that?" Yes, somebody sell me something of immense value for $130. That was $65 a piece for Siegel and Schuster in 1938. And look at what that character is worth now. Just absolutely. I really can't believe that Warner didn't reach out to them and just say, you know what? Before we even get to this, before we have to cross this bridge, let's talk. Okay, I see. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else, because I do have other stories that we could talk about instead of me making a video about a couple of the things that I wanted to talk about. We could talk about it now. Yeah, so because that icon teaser that came out during the playoff game that I was telling you my friends watched, that passed 1 million views on YouTube after just 2 days online. So again, the interest in this movie is there, which means that there is money to be made, and the family of Schuster, and I forgot his first name, Joel Schuster, said not on our watch, and I don't blame them. So any other thoughts on this deal? Do you think that it is a bad business on the behalf of the family, or bad business on behalf of Warner by even letting it get this far? It, just like I said a little while ago, it kind of makes me think of that Michael Jackson uh, movie where now they have to reshoot the final act or the third act of this film because they talked about something in that third act that they were never supposed to talk about. So it's kind of similar to that, where the family knew what shouldn't be talked about. Why didn't they communicate that to Antoine Fuqua and his team, instead of waiting until lawyers from the other side reach out and tell you, if you're putting out what we think you're putting out, you better not put it out? And instead, just get ahead of it. Why would you wait? And this is the exact same thing, except for I understand why the family would wait, because now you got Warner's back up against the wall. They want to put that movie out. They really want that movie to come out. It's going to be worth lots of money. Lots of doubloons are going to go in their pocket from this movie and the merchandising and all of this. And the family made sure to mention all of that in their lawsuit. It's actually very well done. I'll give them a standing ovation for having the patience of saints and not trying to do it too early. Because if you play your hand too early and then you give them an opportunity to game plan how they're going to get this movie out before you get your lawsuit together. The family was like uh, real bad boys move in silence, and they moved in silence about this. And what can you expect? Um, you hear all these cars and racing and all this stuff. Okay, so I've got a couple of little rumors. Let me see. I got a couple of little rumors that I want to get out the way, and then maybe, just maybe, I don't have to do a video and I can cross them off my list. Because y'all know it's starting to become very, very satisfying to cross things off of my story tracker. I get so excited every time I can cross something out, because it means I'm doing exactly what the hell I said I was going to do. I said I was going to talk about these things, and I talked about these things. Now, the I'm sorry, Spider-Man 4, there is a rumor that there will be a new love interest for Peter Parker in Spider-Man 4, even though we had initially heard a different rumor saying that Zendaya was still going to be in the movie. And at that time I was trying to figure out, like, how are we going to put Zendaya in the movie? Well, I know she can be in the movie, but why would she be in the movie when Peter Parker kind of sacrificed his own happiness by having his friends forget completely about who he is? So she's going to be in the movie. Now, Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be having a new love interest. And that is coming from that Daniel RPK. And RPK is otherwise known as You so silly, Wood Grace. Said Mephisto. But who do you think it will be if there is a female love interest? Now, the big two that most people come to is either Black Cat or Gwen Stacy. And I would I would like to believe that we'll stay away from the Gwen Stacy, kind of the same way we stayed away from the origin story of Peter Parker we stay away from Gwen Stacy because she'd been used. I hate that sounded really bad. She's been used by so many Spider-Men. That's what I was about to say. But the character has been used in other movies, so let's just stay away from her and do something new. And something new would be Black Cat, if you ask me. That would be where I would I'm hanging my hat on Black Cat. Wingrace says I'd probably prefer Felicia Hardy, but I get the MCU wants Spider Gwen. But I don't want Spider Gwen. I don't want that. I would prefer to stay away from Gwen Stacy. Now, also, damn, it was something else about this movie that I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Black Cat would be the best. I mean, even though Spider-Man 4 is going to be about the multiverse, or at least that's what we are told, right? We're told that it's about the multiverse, and I can't see what they would have her doing, right? But anyway, that is one of the things that I can go ahead on and scratch off my list. Clarence likes the idea of Black Cat as well. Something tells me maybe it'll be somebody that we are just not suspecting, period. The Spider-Man, that's what it was. The Spider-Man animated show. Is anybody else watching that? I watched the first 2 episodes. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is on Disney Plus right now. And one of the things, and I guess I should have realized it, or I did realize it and just didn't pay any attention. Coleman Domingo is in every goddamn thing now, ain't he? Coleman Domingo is voicing Norman Osborn in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series. So I watched the first 2 episodes. Or really, I haven't even watched the last 10 minutes of the second episode because yesterday, Ashton. You know how the execs do. But so I got to go back and watch the end of the second episode. But the first 2 episodes, from what I saw, were pretty good. Now, is it aimed for younger kids? Probably teens and tweens and teens, because he said a bad word, and it wasn't like a horrible word like some of the shit that I say. It wasn't it wasn't nothing like that. It was hell. But Peter Parker said it. So I'm like, okay, this one is not made for the little people, which means that the story may get more and more mature as it moves on. We shall see. But one thing about that Spider-Man movie is they kind of revisited the origin a little, but you guys will see if you're watching it. Bougie says, I hope they don't make a boring romance mess out of Spider-Man. How boring. It's like part of it is his relationship to these women and how, but you're right. It's not supposed to be the main crux of the story. It does not have to be, a love story in essence. And I don't want it to be a love story either. I actually would have preferred to have seen Wilson Fisk and Daredevil and all of them show up in this movie, but we don't get what we want all the time, do we? When Grace says, if it's the multiversity, then maybe Zendaya will be jackpot. But then I also hear that her. Okay, so these are all rumors. I don't have any sources. We're hearing these sources or these things from other people. But because Zendaya has such a busy schedule over the next couple of years, kind of like Tom Holland does, they're saying that her role in the next Spider-Man movie will be limited. So whatever she does is going to be a little taste, according to the rumors. All of this is to be taken with a grain of salt. And y'all know I don't have any reputable sources besides the same ones that y'all hear. Like I was saying, Daniel Richtman, who is Daniel RPK, and he does put out pretty accurate scoops when he's talking. Some of the others get things wrong, but he usually vets his stuff, sort of like the Jeff Snyder does as well. He vets his sources, and they would have real sources because they're closer to the industry. Anyway, so that's another thought. Jackpot. I should be making a list. Clarence said he did not like the animation in the previews for the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Reminded me of that MTV Spider-Man, and I don't think I ever saw it, so that's why it probably didn't hit me like And the animation is different. Yeah, it's not the What If animation. It's a whole different style, and it is funny looking. But that's why I thought it was going to be aimed more at a younger audience. But then as I'm watching it, it seems like they're going for a kind of a teen audience. I'm still outside of the target demographic, but I did like those first two episodes. What I saw of the second. Bougie says, didn't know about it. Coleman Domingo, I know I spelled something wrong. First name has a great voice for that. You're gonna check it out. That man is everywhere. Coleman Domingo is literally everywhere. He's, of course, the Sing Sing. That's what he's got his Academy Award nomination for. But this past, let's just say 2 years, it's been all Coleman Domingo all the time. Anytime we need somebody, a black man to play something, it seems like they pulling up Coleman Domingo. And this might just be his time where people are finally acknowledging his immense talent. But I'm still wondering, like, there's got to be a reason why we are getting inundated with Coleman Domingo here. I'm about to tell you some more stuff he's working on, because we know Coleman Domingo, we know the Sing Sing, we knew the Madness, which came out last year. We know Euphoria is coming back out. I just looked them up on IMDb the other day, and I was like, what the heck? He got 6 projects that is in the works right now. 7. Okay, so The Electric State, that's the movie from the Russo brothers, is coming out later this year. That he's in that. Then of course he's in Michael. He's playing Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson. Then he's in The Running Man, that is in production still. Then he's in an untitled Steven Spielberg event film that's coming out in 2026. He's in a Nat King biopic, and he's playing Nat King Cole. He's in a TV series called The Four Seasons, and he's in a movie called Dead Man's Wire. That's a lot of Coleman, a whole lot of Coleman Domingo over the next, say, year and a half. That's insane. You said, give me the supervillains and let Peter grow up a bit. Yeah, he needs to get his ass whooped instead of being able, because we know that Iron Man and the Avengers are pretty much off the table for Spider-Man 4. So let him get his ass kicked. So he, and I'm not saying lose. He doesn't have to lose at the end of the movie, but he's gotten spared the ass whippings that he should have gotten, because Iron Man or somebody else is always helping him or bailing him out. Let that man get on his own feet, because he's a young man now. He's not a boy anymore, right? But that could just be me, and I'm being kind of a sadist about Spider-Man. I want to see him get beat up. So that was one thing. There was a doomsday theory. Avengers Doomsday. Listen to this theory, Marvel fans. If you are a fan of the Avengers movies and you know about Avengers Doomsday, there is a theory floating that says Avengers Doomsday will be set in an alternate 1950s timeline. The events of the film will be consequence of Steve going back in time at the end of Endgame. So basically, Cap breaks time just to have a dance with Captain Carter. Peggy Carter, and it's his fault that the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom exists. This is what people are saying. It's going to be up to Captain America to fix reality. Now, I'm saying that, but at the same time, if you guys have been paying attention to Benedict Cumberbatch, y'all know I'm always paying attention to Benedict Cumberbatch. I got a little thing for Benedict Cumberbatch. But anywho, Benedict Cumberbatch um, is going to be in a movie called The Thing with Feathers, and he's been doing a lot of press surrounding his involvement with that movie, and he's also been being asked about his involvement in either Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. And what Benedict Cumberbatch started off saying is not matching what he's saying now. He started off saying, hey, I was supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday. That movie was supposed to be the Kang Dynasty. So when they decided they were going into a different direction, away from Jonathan Majors, who I also kind of like, when they decided they were going away from that direction, they they didn't need me in that movie as much anymore. So he's like, so I'll be sitting that one out, and you'll see me a lot in Avengers Secret Wars. Now, why he's saying so much is beyond me, because usually Benedict Cumberbatch is, voice of reason. He knows how to not drop spoilers, but just saying that the fact that he wasn't going to be in Avengers Doomsday might have been a spoiler. Then just maybe last week, at the end, towards the end of last week, or maybe the beginning of this week, he came back out and was like, oh, I was wrong. I'm going to be in Avengers Doomsday. And I'm like, okay, how do you not know what effing movie? Now, I know the way Marvel films and stuff, you don't know what movie you're going to show up in. You just show up in movies. You just shoot a whole bunch of lines talking to nobody, and you end up in a movie with somebody. You find out at the same time everybody else does who you was in the movie with. So if the Avengers Doomsday rumors are correct, and we are going to see a lot of Doctor Strange, I don't think that we'll see an alternate 1950s timeline. If Avengers Doomsday comes out and there is no Doctor Strange in it, then maybe, possibly, it could be an alternate timeline. But all of this would hinge upon Chris Evans coming back as Captain America. Now, a couple weeks ago, the big talk was Chris Evans is coming back as Captain America. Yay! Hey, Marge. So Chris Evans was coming back, and then everybody was wondering what's going to happen. What's going to happen to Sam Wilson, Captain America? Oh, they're going to do something different. But yes, Captain America, Chris Evans is coming back for Avengers Doomsday. Yes. And then the other day, Chris Evans came out and said, no, I'm not coming back. Now we know that that these actors will lie to us, right? To keep a secret, a big reveal in a movie, they will tell us some lies. And I'm not mad at Chris Evans if he's lying. I'm just saying he put the kibosh on that, even though I believe it was New Rockstars. New Rockstars had the kind of casting call for, or call sheet is what they call it, a call sheet for Avengers Doomsday. So unless the call sheet they have is fake, Chris Evans' name is there. So somebody lied. Somebody is not telling the truth. And who knows who it is. But what would you feel, or how would you feel about Avengers Doomsday being another one of those movies set in a retro futuristic past, and it being that way because Steve Rogers messed everything up by staying back in time? Because it has to ruin things by him actually going back in time and living out a life with Peggy Carter that shouldn't have happened, right? So uh, according to Tony Stark, if you mess with time, tends to mess back, right? So would that be something that could have, that domino that fell, that created that alternate timeline, that we will see that Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom in, and we'll see the Pedro Pascal and all of that. We'll see them as the Fantastic Four in that universe as well. There is another kind of rumor out, but I'm not going to share that one, because if it turns out to be correct, then I've been told you the whole doggone. Um, I would have told you the whole plot of Fantastic Four, and I don't want to do that. Clarence says, I don't think we've seen the last of Kang, just a feeling. I really hope not. But are they going to recast the character? Or would they, God forbid, bring, I mean, I'm not saying God forbid, because I really believe that Jonathan Majors deserves a shot. Because if anybody with eyes, even though he was found guilty of something, anybody with eyes could see what happened in that video. That video that was released. Now, you could talk crap about anything else, and there may be other people who could come forward with real evidence of him doing something, but he wasn't on trial for that. He was on trial for what happened between him and Grace Jabari. And anybody with two eyes can see from that video that what was accused to have happened didn't happen. But I'm gonna leave it alone, because I'm not trying to get, I ain't trying to get everybody riled up about Jonathan Majors, because you guys know that there might be a little bit of a bias there with me for Jonathan Majors. Wingray says, saw a thing today that RDJ, Chris, and Lou Ferrigno are confirmed for Doomsday. And now on that call sheet, I didn't see Lou Ferrigno. I did not. But the call sheet had let me see if I can find it, because if New Rockstars had it, but if New Rockstars had it, somebody else has it too. What was it? The Avengers. Let me see if this is it. This is it right here. Let's see if I can open it in a different tab. I kind of made sure that and I'm about to share it with you guys here. You don't have to all of that. Okay, so it says Marvel Studios for All Time Productions UK Limited. It came out December 12th, 2024. Status, late March 2025. Location, the UK. Producer, Kevin Feige, Louis Desposito. Stephen McFeely is the writer, director of Tony Russo, Joe Russo, blah, blah, blah. Here it is, the cast. Robert Downey Jr., Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Evan Moss, Tom Holland, Elizabeth Olsen, Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, Wyatt Russell, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, Olga Kurylenko, Chris Evans, Anthony Mackie, Benedict Cumberbatch, Haley Atwell, and down here it says Anna de Armas mentioned for a role. The March 2025 through August 2025. I'm sorry, March 2025 through August 2025 is when they're supposed to be filming, and it'll have a release of May 2026. That is if this is something that is truly from the studio, and it's not just somebody pulling the leg. But because they showed it on on New Rockstars, I was like, that could possibly have some merit, because New Rockstars, of course, they have been wrong, but when they're wrong, it's usually theories. It's usually, this is a theory that we have, and I think this is going to happen, and all of us are entitled to have wrong thoughts. When you're putting out something based on and saying this is not just a theory or not just a rumor, this is what's happening, I feel like they got more to lose than I do. So they won't put out just horrible bad news that's been unvetted unless they have a really good source behind it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Clarence said having a CGI'd Ferrigno Hulk would make folks lose it, and it's going to bring me to the next one of my topics on my list that I had not yet gotten to, but I'm glad you said it because that Lou Ferrigno, if they CG'd Lou Ferrigno into a Hulk for whatever reason, especially going into the multiverse, why the hell not? Right? We're doing things in Secret Wars and using this whole multiverse to do things that you couldn't do normally, typically. Hence, us seeing Wesley Snipes again as Blade. Well, Wind Grace in my on one of my videos had dropped an idea like, but wait a minute, hear me out. We were talking about Black Panther being recast, and Wind Grace brought up Wesley Snipes. And look, before y'all jump out the window and tell us we're crazy, I actually liked the logic and the thoughts behind why Wind Grace said Wesley Snipes. So no, he's not saying recast T'Challa as and recast Wesley Snipes as T'Challa. He's saying Wesley Snipes wanted a Black Panther movie. He wanted to play the Black Panther. And I think if you'll correct me, Wind Grace, um, that it was before the Blade movie. He wanted Black Panther, so they didn't give him Black Panther. He got Blade, and that's it. Went down in history. That's the way we remember Wesley Snipes in Marvel movies, and we got to revisit that in Deadpool and Wolverine via the Void. So, yay! Would it be outside of the realm of possibility that we see Wesley Snipes play T'Chaka, a multiversal T'Chaka who was the original in his timeline Black Panther? Would this put kind of a salve on Wesley Snipes never being able to play Black Panther, number one? And then number two, would it give us the same amount of fan service that we got with him being Blade in the Void? And since we're asking that question about whether or not it'd be that fan service, do we want that fan service? It was him being in the Void as Blade enough. Would them doing it again be like would it be insulting at that point? Because if we had to choose one or the other, I think I would have rather have seen um, him show up as Black Panther, because that's something we never saw. We never got that realized, even though he was the one actor in Hollywood that was pushing for Black Panther the entire time. He really was. So I'm going to pick up a few more of and one thing about Wingrease, he gonna put those quotes. You're gonna know that when he says confirmed or something like that, you're gonna know whether it's really confirmed, right? But anyway, Marge was asking Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards in the MCU now, so he is uh, Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, Bougie Barbie says she'd be fine with this. She loves time jumps, and that's all it is time jumps here lately. Madras absolutely deserves to be Kang again. He had it, and then the things happen. Womp womp womp. But I would prefer, you know, give him something that's going to give him, if they were choosing to bring him back, give him something that would have him in the MCU for a little while, a couple of movies at the absolute least, but don't give him something crazy like Black Panther. He doesn't need to be he doesn't need to be Black Panther. Um Wingray says, I think it said Downey Doom, Hydra Cap, and Ferrigno Maestro. Oh, That's, you know what? I could kind of get behind it. I could kind of get behind it if they're bringing Chris Evans back as a bad guy. But again, how many times are we going to play this trope? You know, so it could go one of two ways. Either you're just bringing these people back because you know they're going to put asses in the seats, or you really have something to do for them, and it's not just to have them. You know what I mean? Just to put those butts back in the seats for old time's sake. I am not a person, and y'all know, even though the multiverse is going to be all about freaking fan service, it's a lot of fan service. I thought we had that with Deadpool. I want the story to still be sound and not just filled with a bunch of stuff to have happen just because, you know, oh, remember when I don't like that. Y'all know I'm tired of it. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I get tired of it. It can get worn out very quickly of us continuously trying to relive the good old days. Let this shit move forward. um Now, Marge says, does she support Wesley Snipes in whatever he wants to do? Now, see, there's an issue, and look, the issue is an old issue. And has he apologized and moved on? I don't know. I don't know. And is there any truth to this rumor? I don't know. But it was said that Wesley Snipes, when he was dating Holly Berry, was abusive to her. In fact, it was rumored that he struck her so hard that she lost her hearing in one of her ears. Now, and we know that Holly Berry is impaired, hearing impaired in one of her ears. If that's the truth, can people ever forgive Wesley Snipes if he really put his hands on Holly Berry? And even if he didn't, even this rumor has been around for at least 25, 30 years, right? If I'm not exaggerating, I think it's been around for at least 30, 25 to 30 years. If this rumor has been around this long, there are some people who will never you will never convince them that he didn't do this thing. And if he did do it, then I see why everybody is looking at him sideways. If he didn't do it, not enough was done to debunk those rumors as they were, spiraling all those years ago. And with putting him in a major Marvel movie hurt the movie because he was accused of these things. I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it, but it's been following him for decades that he did. Um, so Bougie says, I would love to see Wesley Snipes in Black Panther, and I would too. But then, I'm looking at it now as I sit here and talk my way through this. I got to look at it from the standpoint or from the viewpoint of the studio. Is he too big of a hot button, a hot potato, basically, to have in the movie? If they felt that way about Jonathan Majors after the video that I watched, I don't know how many other people watched it and saw the same thing that I saw. After the video that I watched, and if they decided we parting ways with him, he's too big of a risk for the studio, then would they feel the same way about a Wesley Snipes? Clarence says a de-aged Snipes. If not, I don't think I like it. Now, this is not him playing T'Challa. It would be him playing T'Challa's father. So he would be the father to whoever that universe's T'Challa is. So if we leave him at the age that he is, I can still see it because he's supposed to be older. You hand it over your mantle to your son, whoever that T'Challa might be. Hopefully, Damson Idris or Aldous Hodge. Those are my two big choices. But another part of me thinks that that Denzel Washington will be a alternate timeline T'Chaka, handing his freaking mantle down to his son, John David Washington, as T'Challa. But again, I wouldn't mind that, but my choices are my choices. And my biggest choice was Damson Idris, and my second was Aldous Hodge. Who'd you say womp, womp, womp about this whole Wesley Snipes thing? Um, Now, Clarence likes the idea of having the original Avengers back as villains. And then, okay, so you have new Avengers fighting the people that we knew as the old Avengers. And would they bring back a Scarlett Johansson in some role? Even though she, of course, our character of Black Widow, she's gone. So yeah, does this open the door for just everybody to come back? And I just don't know if I like it. I'd have to see some proof of like concept of how this shit will work without it looking like we're just doing it to be doing it. It's not serving the story in any way, shape, or form. Um, Marge says she didn't know about this rumor. Yeah, that rumor had been moving around. Now look, and I don't know. Let's see. I brought it up. I said it was a rumor, so I'm not saying that is I'm not saying that it's true and or false. False. So August 23rd, 2024, an article came out on The Root talking about this or that relationship. And let's share it. Holly Berry has been one of the most impactful figures. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We know about her. What do we know? Do we know? So she was tied to Wesley Snipes very early in her career. Around the beginning of Barry's career, she dated Wesley Snipes. While Snipes was already an established star in his own right, Barry was just breaking through the industry, filming Strictly Business and Spike Lee's Jungle Fever alongside Snipes. They did not address those little rumors. So the fact that they didn't address the rumors might say that it's been debunked, because of course this is X shoot. um Friendly reminder that Wesley Snipes abused Halle Berry so severely that she lost much of her hearing in one of her ears. This was after, of course, they put out Deadpool versus Wolverine. People were not having it. People.com. Now, people.com has a lot to lose if they put out a bad story. So, Barry had an emotional breakup with her Jungle Fever co-star. She later admitted that a well-known Hollywood actor, rumored to be Snipes, once hit her so hard that she became nearly deaf in one ear. So, she didn't say who it was. So, people who were putting two and two together, I can't say for sure that it was him, but I know that that rumor has been around. Because when did Jungle Fever come out? Let me. That'll tell you how long the rumor's been around. Jungle Fever came out in 90 what? I know it was 90 something. 1991. So yes, that rumor has been around for 30 years, 30 plus. And if it's true, so be it. So Bennett, everybody has moved on and 30 years have passed, but he might be somebody, especially if using the multiverse they want to bring Holly Berry in as Storm. If she's got bad blood in any way, shape, or form with Wesley Snipes, it would be like, okay, who do we want? Wesley Snipes, or do we want Holly Berry? Yeah. Anyway, if Holly has said nothing, I think we could let it go. Clarence said, yeah, I mean, we could let it go, but because she never put a name to the accusation. So I think, as far as most of us have let it go. But I just showed you the tweet. There's always going to be somebody who can't let it go. And then there's always going to be somebody like Marge who's like, I never heard that rumor. So how many people out there never heard the rumor before, never knew that this thing was supposedly happened? And then you got this person who come and waves this flag and lets everybody know. And then what do you have is a social media revolt, because we've seen it happen a million times. People didn't know. That's almost precisely how Bill Cosby got in the mess that he got into. Remember, Hannibal Buress got on stage, made a couple jokes, told people to Google one of his jokes about Bill Cosby and his alleged illegal activities and sexual assault of women, and people did. And that story grew legs. And the more legs that it grew, the worse stuff got for for Bill Cosby. We're seeing it again with Jay-Z, with the Diddy situation. With all of these people, it always starts with somebody putting the bug out there. Excuse me, I hope I didn't blow y'all ears out with that. Somebody puts the bug out there, and then the internet grabs a hold of it and goes. So I don't know how many people liked that comment about, this is just your friendly reminder that Wesley Snipes hit Halle Berry so hard that she lost her hearing. I don't know how many people saw it. I don't know how many people liked it. I don't know how many people commented on it. But imagine that on every social media that we have. If it's on X, then it goes on Instagram, then it goes on, gosh, where stories freaking really snowball out of control, whether they're true or false. TikTok. With the old Avengers against the new Avengers, basically be Civil War. It would be Civil War, except for they wouldn't call it Civil War. They'd be like, no, we call this Secret War. Because that is the next, after Avengers Doomsday, that's the next big Avengers movie that's coming out. So old Avengers versus new Avengers, Secret Wars, everybody. And yeah, yay. Jungle Fever, one of Spike Lee's great films. Yes, it was. I can't wait to see, because I think Spike has some things coming up. Now, Spike Lee, of course, is always busy, but there was something, it seems like I remember hearing that he has something coming soon, but I gotta look it up. Not Wikipedia. I meant to go to IMDb. Silly me. Doop, 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 doop. Upcoming, he's got 5 projects. Prince of Cats. I don't know if that's the one I heard. I think it might have been the understudy that I heard about, or Boner. Boner was something else. I think it was the understudy that I might have heard about. But there are 5 projects that Spike has coming. Prince of Cats. He's directing Katrina Come Hell and High Water. That's a TV series, and I guess you can assume that it's about Hurricane Katrina. That's in pre-production. High and Low is in post-production. The Understudy, pre-production, and Boner in pre-production. I really do like the fact that these directors, our legacy directors, are continuing to work and give us, maybe some folks will say that they're not giving us their best work, and then some people will argue that yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, I don't know what went on with Francis Ford Coppola with that Megalopolis. He behaved badly. They say he behaved really badly on that set, and that they also say that the movie wasn't that great. But then I watched Emilia Perez, and I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm going to do a video about I'm going to do a video about that. But if you are part of the Discord, you pretty much know how I felt. Mary Marge says we're overdue for a Spike Lee joint, and we got 5 coming. We got 5 coming. There was another theory. Another theory. Tell me what you guys think of this one. MCU fans. Um, they say we remember in Deadpool and Wolverine when we saw that still image of Deadpool or Thor over Deadpool and crying. So it's like, okay, why is Thor crying over Deadpool? And there's a million questions as to why this might have happened. And somebody had a fantastic answer. And that fantastic answer is this: Deadpool and Thor meet, they get along really well. Thor doesn't know about Deadpool's powers. So when Deadpool gets horribly injured, Thor goes to him to try and comfort him as he believes that he's dying. This causes Thor to cry a little bit, and Deadpool plays into it for a second to get a laugh. Then Thor realizes Deadpool can't die. Now, as this, because this is on Reddit, yeah, I hang out in Reddit from time to time. So this is on Reddit. And people started expounding on that theory because the theory makes sense. But somebody says that Deadpool jumps in front of Thor to save him because he doesn't know that Thor can't die. But of course, he does know that Thor can't get hurt as easily. He's got this high level of durability. But anyway, Deadpool jumps in front of Thor to save him, and they have just met. So Thor doesn't even have a clue who Deadpool is. He's just moved that somebody would actually put themselves in harm's way for him. So he sits over thinking that this person who just sacrificed or just risked their life to save him is about to die. And then you find out that Deadpool will live forever. And then finally, Thor and Deadpool become great friends because Thor finally found someone who can't tragically die and be taken away from him like all the rest of his friends and family. That to me, that's a heck of a that's a heck of a theory to me. And okay, so that I did all of these theories. I can scratch all of those off my list. I'm so excited about this, y'all. I'm so excited. Bougie Barbie says she's never watched any Deadpool movies. You know, Deadpool is kind of like an acquired taste. So I will never try to talk anybody against watching the Deadpool movies, but it's an awful lot of really crass humor and uber violence. And it's funny to, if you like that type of stuff, it's funny. Or if you like the character of Deadpool from the comic books and all this ish, it's funny. But some people will not find that funny. There's nothing that I can do and say that would make them find the brand of humor funny. If you know, put it like this: if you know Ryan Reynolds and his style of humor, then you know the kind of what to expect, and you can just go ahead and multiply anything that you've seen Ryan Reynolds do, go ahead on and multiply it by 10. And that is the factor of insanity that you're going to get for 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 Deadpool. Yeah. Y'all know I couldn't wait until this thing was over to erase the stuff off my list. I'm so excited. I really I really need this type of reinforcement in my life to help me get things done. I was so excited to scratch those things off my list. Um, and then I'll cut this up and just have the theories. You think I should do that, y'all? Just have like a theory video so that people who didn't see this will see it, and then I'll get double. You know, it's not like my videos are getting watched by hundreds and thousands of people, but I still want to have those thoughts out there. Just for uh, not nostalgia, just for how I always say that I want my future grandchildren, the ones that I got now. I don't want no more, but in the future, when I'm gone, because there will be a day that I'm no longer here. I want them to see the silly stuff that used to excite me or the things that I like to talk about that right now they can't appreciate. And if Lord forbid something was to happen to me before they got old enough to appreciate it, I want them to see who grandma was. um Bougie says, I don't know the character very well. I can't imagine liking Ryan Reynolds in anything. See, you would not like Deadpool. So if you don't know anything about the character, that's fine, because you will be introduced in the first Deadpool movie. It is a primer. It introduces you to the character, and you figure out who he is and why he's the way he is and all of this stuff. But if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you are not going to like uh, any of the Deadpool movies. My legacy, Marge. Yeah, yeah, Bougie. His humor is all over the movie, and the reason why is because one of the things that Ryan Reynolds does an awful lot is improvise. So you're going to have him and his improvisational style all over the movies, all over it. And if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you might as well hang it up. You are not going to like Deadpool. And that's another thing that people need to think about. We all don't have the same taste in these, not just movies, in anything. So what would be great for one group of people, for another group of people would be like, why in the world would you even want to do this? So yeah, I'm still marking stuff off the list. I told y'all, I get obsessive about these things. What else do I have on here that might be able to come off? I've got a video that is going to be telling you everywhere that you can watch the Oscar movies, um, the best film nominees. If you wanted to watch them, where you can watch them. Oh, I put that video out. I schedule videos and I forget that I've scheduled them, or I forget where I scheduled them to go. I think I got them for members only. So you guys, most of the people in this chat right now will have access to that right now, and everybody else will get it tomorrow sometime, I think. So I guess I can mark that off the list too. Oh gosh. Oh shucks. Somebody is in our Discord, I think, because I just heard a sound. Let's see. Mm, I didn't see all of this. Now I gotta go back and read a bunch of stuff. Anyway. Yeah, there's some stuff in here that I didn't see. A lot of stuff. Y'all been talking, and where was I? I must have been asleep or something. Warning received. What warning is that? Wolverine is us. How crazy! Oh, the warning about Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, you ain't gonna like that, girl. Don't watch it. I mean, I kind of like, I like to talk about these things, but I do not want to punish anybody and be like, yeah, watch it. If you don't like Ryan Reynolds, that is gonna be like uh fingernails on the chalkboard. That's just how terrible it is. You know, one thing I don't like is because now that I don't have StreamYard and all that stuff anymore, I can't like put y'all comments up here. I have to figure out how to do that without like one of those little stream yards or something like that. Somebody has an idea, let me know. And it can't be too technical, even though I've gotten a little bit better with some technical stuff than I used to be. But um yeah, let me know if you guys have anything else, any other way that I'd be able to do that. Um so coming up next really soon is the Amelia Perez video. What in the world is going on? And where am I? You read the okay. I think Marge might have checked out, but she said she just read the plot summary on Wikipedia for Amelia Perez, and I'm just speaking out Amelia Perez. I watched that movie today. That video that will be discussing the movie and the controversy around the movie, and it seems like I know you guys are going to be like, "Wow!" This seems like every week something adds to the controversy, and this week, let's just put it like this: Amelia Perez has got 13 Academy Award nominations, and one person in that cast may have blown it for everybody. So stick around. I mean, stay tuned for the video about that. Is anybody besides me watching Unrivaled Basketball on TNT or Max or wherever we're watching it now? Um, so Unrivaled is another ladies basketball league. I think um there's a browser extension to add it. You say, oh, so there's a browser extension to add what to OBS? YouTube, because y'all know way back I started off using OBS, and I still have OBS, and I still play around with it. But there are still some things that are like I got to continue to play with before I understand what where they're going with it, because I can't do StreamYard and all of that anymore because I can't afford it. And I'm just like, I'm not paying for any of them. I just said I just forget it. I'm not paying for any of them. Oh, to add the names to, there's a browser extension to add the names to the screen. Okay. I need to look that up. I'll have to write that down. Thank you for clarifying. Mm, OBS browser extension. I'm just gonna have to start using OBS again. I hadn't been, but for the comments, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start using OBS again at some point. That's just it. Now, if you guys are basketball fans, if you've been watching Unrivaled Basketball, it's so different, and I really like it. It's 3-on-3, a 3-on-3 format. They're playing full court on a shorter court. It's not like a super small, but it is like a 70 some foot court. You still got the same regulation rims. Um 3-on-3, like I said, there are six teams that is running 10 weeks, and the games are played on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Now, some of the games are hard to watch, especially once we get to Monday. This is still the beginning of the season, so we're in going into the third week of Unrivaled. Um, and you see which teams took conditioning very seriously, and you see which teams were slacking and lacking. But now you have a pretty much an idea of the teams to beat. The teams to beat are the Laces and gosh, why can't I remember the name of the other team? The Laces, the Vinyl. There's only 3 out of the 6. Have you been watching it, Clarence? I like the 3-on-3 only because it opens the floor up. You can't you have to be able to create your shot, or you have to be able to move without the ball. If you can't create your shot, if you don't keep yourself moving without the ball, you will stagnate. There is nothing in the middle of the court to clog it up. So those 2 additional, actually 4 additional people that would be on the court, you can't hide behind them. So some of these players who we are used to see it coming off of screens and popping, they ain't popping the same way because they don't have that screen. Or you got to have a specific play in mind. The give and go is working really, really well. The backdoor give and go is working really, really well because you lose sight of that person. Once that pick and that roll happens, you lose sight of the person, and they are eating in the paint until somebody figures out how to stop it. But yeah, I think that 4th person would have clogged things up. Yeah. The Lunar Owls. And Lunar Owls is my team. That's the team that I like the most. The Laces, the Lunar Owl. Now the Rose, the Mist, and the Rose, the Mist, and the Phantom. And the Rose at least have won 1 game. Some of these teams have not won a game. The Phantom have Brittany Griner, and while she would be an asset in a 5-man set, she's a liability on both ends of the court, really. Well, unless somebody just lets her stand under the basket, which has not been happening. Plus, she's older, she's bigger, she's slower. She's not able to keep up with these girls. But the Lunar Owl and the Laces, I think it's going to come down to them. Then they also have that is a one-on-one tournament. And I think they're playing for 200 something thousand dollars. So it's going to be the tournament where each player is playing one-on-one, and whoever ends up being the queen of the court for that day is going to end up with 200 something thousand dollars. I like the ideas because, again, just like Nafisa Collier, who is one of the co-founders of Unrivaled, like she says, it gives players equity in the league that they're playing in. I love that. And I also love that they are exceeding the salaries for women's basketball in the US. So the WNBA is not paying what the 10-week startup Unrivaled League is playing. Now, of course, it's money's being split amongst a smaller group of women, but this is just to show how big this thing can get. And I am truly excited to see the future of women's sports. Yep. But tonight's 2 games are coming on. Yeah, the average. I keep trying to click on this so you can put it on there, and it's like I don't learn a lesson from trying to click on it to put your comment on the screen. Yeah, Claire said the fact these ladies are getting paid makes me happy. The average salary is over $200,000, and you see what they are being able to in 15% revenue. And if I had it, I would buy all the merch because I really and truly believe that all they needed was the proper investors and for the people to believe in the product. Now, of course, the league can't continue to grow, and but I think the people who came in on the ground floor should be those who are gain the most out of this. And they will be. But yeah, the $200,000 salary alone just it makes me happy because they're getting paid not even they're getting paid like slot supervisor at the casino salaries in the WNBA as they walk in. $70,000 is, I'm not abusing my body night after night. Of course, I would be walking and walking back and forth and walking all over a casino and all of that stuff. If I could have gotten paid the same amount to play basketball when I was a younger woman, I would have played for that $70,000. But $70,000 now today is an insult to these women. You stay in college. I would just stay in college forever and get name, image, likeness, and you just keep getting money because those athletes in college are making more than those professional women. And we could take this to track too, but I ain't even going. I ain't got time. I'm not gonna go there today. But yeah, so where would be the incentive to leave college and go play in the WNBA when if I just stayed in college until my eligibility was completely up till I could never play again and I could continue to get that name, image, likeness, that's a better financial decision for me and my future doing that. And these are not people who are staying in college to continue to get educated. They're staying in college to play basketball or play sports. So if you were going to stay in college anyway, this is not apply to them. But anywho, oh well, it has been fun. We got some. You guys know what's coming up on the docket coming up soon, and we had a good conversation about the Spider-Man, about the Superman controversy and other things. So, if you enjoyed this, please make sure that you like the video if you haven't done it on your way out the door. And with all that being said, oh, I'm doing text rapping and I'm supposed to be doing something else. With all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. And I'm glad to have finally had a live stream with everybody. See y'all later. Bye.